Hey, welcome. This is Nancy, and we are working in our textbook exploring Adobe Illustrator CS6, but with the CC enhancements. And we're going to work a little bit. I'm going to get you started at least on the lesson that's due in Chapter 3, and then allow you to finish up a lot of that on your own. But again, just to get you started. So we are going to make sure that Illustrator is activated, which it is. And then we're going to follow the instructions in the textbook, which says choose File, Open, and on your local hard drive, browse for Exploring Illustrator folder, and then the file 3L1. So we're going to do a File and Open. And we're going to navigate to where our data files are, and specifically Chapter 3. And then I'm going to make this window smaller so we can read it side by side. And if your window Illustrator artboard gets a little messy, again, like mine does all the time, remember you can just go up here to the drop-down menu and reset, and we're working in Essentials most often. Reset Essentials, and it will reset it to a more organized workplace. All right, so we have opened that. We are going to, again, check the Essentials workspace is selected, which mine is, in the upper right-hand corner in the application bar. And as mentioned in the file setup, to save your work, you must make a copy of the chapter lessons to your local hard drive and select files from that location, which we've already done. Now we're going to go to Window Layers to open the Layers panel, and you'll see that this is the layers on their desktop. We're going to go here. You can do it one of two ways. You can go to the panels options and open, or you can go to Window and go to Layers in an alphabetical organization. I'm just going to go here and open up the layers. And you'll see that the creator of this lesson has already created several layers for this document. We're going to unhide the box layer by turning on the visibility option in the Layers panel. So we're going to go to the box layer, and to unhide it, we are going to click here, and you'll see that little tooltip says it toggles visibility. Just click there, and then we'll see if I can close this out that the box layer is now visible. And it's, again, one of the notes that it indicates if you don't see all of the layers on the Layers panel, scroll down or enlarge the panel by dragging the bottom right corner of the panel down. So again, if you're in your Layers panel and you're only showing a couple of these, if you just click and drag this lower right-hand corner, you can reposition that so that you can see more than just one layer, or all of the layers available. All right, now we are going to import a bitmap. It indicates that they want us to highlight the box layer by clicking it on the Layers panel. So if we go over here to the Layers panel and we want to highlight the box layer by clicking on it, and then we're going to create the click the Create New Layer button at the bottom of the Layers panel. So we want to make sure that we create a new layer. And you'll see that the reason why they had us select the box layer is because that layer is then created just one step above the box layer, the one that we had highlighted. Now, you're going to double click on the new layer, the blank area to the right of the name, to open the layer options. And of course, my double click, remember, what is the deal with this? This is so annoying. I'll be right back as soon as I figure out how to open this. I think I can just go up here. There we go. Always away in Illustrator. Again, I need to take my computer in and get my trackpad fixed because my double click doesn't work, and I've checked the system requirements to see if there's some setup that I've got that I don't know what's going on with it. But anyway, and if you hear that buzzing outside, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but I'm now teaching from Florida this summer. And again, nothing changes, just my location, but it's so noisy. They're doing some yard work outside or something, so I apologize if you can hear that. All right, so we've opened up the layers option, and then we are going to enter bitmap. And we're going to click OK. All right, now again with the bitmap layer highlighted, we are going to go to File and Place from the menu bar. So we're going to go to File and Place. Again, going to navigate to where the data files are. We're going to go to the Chapter Lessons, the Assets folder. Select Elizabeth I, and then click Place. And I ended up with a loaded cursor. I'm not sure if because your layer was selected, if it placed it, but I'm going to just click here in the upper left-hand corner of this little box. And then I'm going to move this over so you can see it. All right, then it says be sure that the Elizabeth I JPEG is selected, which you want to get the selection tool and click on it to make sure that it's selected. And you'll see that when I had selected it before, it did not show that it was placed. Here, let me redo that. If you do not, if like mine initially, you did not see the bounding box around it. So when I clicked on it, knowing that I had selected it, but you could not see that it was selected. I wanted to make sure that I could see that it was selected. So I went under View and then down to show bounding box rather than hide bounding box. And that way when it's selected you can actually see it. All right, and then in the control panel we're going to check to make sure that the width and height options are constrained. If they're not, that would be unlocked, I believe. We're going to try it and see. And we want to enter the width of 331 point. And then we are going to hit enter on the keyboard to execute the new size. All right, let's do that over again so you can see. It has to be unlinked rather than linked. So if the height and the width are currently 432 by 360, I want to make sure that when it executes the command that it does it proportionally. So we're going to, and if I would read, I'm sure you probably read this already much better than I, the chain will be unbroken. And hit tab. All right, to make sure the width and the height, we're going to do this one more time to make sure I have it clear in my mind. Hopefully it's not so redundant to you that you're getting bored with this, but to make sure the width and the height options are constrained, the chain will be unbroken. Well, that's not true. Initially I thought it was, but after I tried it a couple of times with this little chain link unbroken, it did not constrain the proportions. It instead scaled it disproportionately. So, all right, so make sure the chain is locked before you change the width. Illustrator may automatically convert the point size indicated in the transform panel to some other measurement. This happens if your default measurement is set to something other than points. Ours is set to points, so that's not an issue. Now, if yours are not set to points and you want to set them to points, I'll show you a real quick way to do that. You can go under View and then down to Rulers and Show Rulers. And you'll see these little rulers here at the top and the far left-hand side of your artboard. If you do, if you're on a Mac, if you do a control click, or on a PC, do a right click, that will bring up inches, millimeters, whatever ruler you want to use, and we're going to use a points ruler. Now, number 8, it says to click and drag the bitmap image to fit into the box. For precise positioning, you're going to use the up, down, right arrow, left arrows on the keyboard. So I'm going to deselect that, and I can see just a little bit of white showing here, so I'm going to select it again and just nudge it over with my arrow tool. That looks pretty good. Now, in the control panel at the top of the screen, we're going to click on the Embed button if it's available. So again, you have to make sure that you have this selected. And then you're going to look up here to the control panel to see if the Embed button is available. I've already embedded mine. If you had not, this would say Embed rather than Unembed. So if it says Embed, you just need to click on embed. By embedding the image, you just make sure that the placed image is saved with the document. Remember, when you just place an image or a text box, you're borrowing the file from its original filing spot. And so when you save an unembedded image, it will go back to its original spot, whether it's on your artboard or whether it's on your desktop or in your control file or wherever. But anyway, so you want to make sure that you embed it if you want to save it with the file. And if it's not available, it's because the link option was not checked when you placed the image, so it's been embedded automatically. Now, for fun, we are going to choose Effect and Warp. And I got to see what we have to do after that. Adjust the bend option by moving the slider to 72% under Fisheye. So we're going to go to Effect, Warp, and we're going to click on Fisheye. And you want the fisheye at 72% for bend. And we can preview the effect on the bitmap by selecting the preview option. Mine's already selected. And then you're going to click Cancel to close the Warp Options window without altering the bitmap. Now we're going to click on the iBitmap layer to highlight it. So we're going to go to the Layers panel. Mine's already highlighted because I have it selected. And then we are going to choose Template. So we want to go to the Options. And we're going to make this a bitmap. And you'll see that this automatically dims the image and locks the layers so you can't draw on it inadvertently. I'm going to click OK, and there we go. Now we're going to do a file save as to save our file. We're going to rename it chapter 301 underscore your name and save it in the lessons folder. So we're going to do a file and save as. Underscore your name, click save. Then we're going to unhide and unlock the lines layer in the layers panel. So we're going to go up here to lines and we're going to unhide it. So we're going to click on the eye and then we're going to unlock it. So we're going to click on this little lock icon. And you'll see that some lines have already been traced around the image of the eye. Constructing lines, or paths as they're called in Illustrator, is the first step in creating an image in Illustrator. We're going to get the selection tool in the Tools panel. And then we're going to explore selecting the different paths on the eye image by clicking on each one with the selection tool. So we have the selection tool and we're going to click on each one of these. And you'll see with the bounding box that allows us to see which lines are selected. Now, if you want to get a little bit closer in, you see how these are selected. Each line created is indicated in the lines layer. So again, I'm going to open this up and you'll see that the line layer has this little down facing arrow. I'm going to click on that and then you can see each one of these lines. What's kind of cool is you can target or select those lines with your layers panel. I'm going to click and drag this up here so we can see it a little bit better. And say I want this little oval right here. I can just click on this little target button and it selects that portion of the illustration. All right, the noise is getting a little unbearable out here. I am going to sign off and allow you to finish this on your own. There's quite a bit left to do, so if you run into a problem or need another demo, let me know and I will get right back to you. Thank you and see you later.